YouTube land, Tycondrius here, coming back at you with another action figure review. And again, I'm not in my usual spot, but today I wanted to have a look at something that I had pre-ordered. The pre-order came in for it. It arrived literally a day or so ago. Oh, well, at the time of this recording. And that is the G.I. Joe the G.I. Joe Ultimate Super 7 exclusive. Now, I believe it was originally a Walmart or Target exclusive, but I got this from Big Bad Toy Store. And it is the Red Shadows Red Laser Gunner repaint. Now, obviously, the figure is not in the box, but we'll have a quick look at the box as I have it to hand. So it is pretty much very similar to the previous Red Shadows figure that they did, which was Red Jackal. I don't have his box to hand, but it is done in the standard G.I. Joe Ultimates line. So for Cobra, they had a blue box with kind of silver accents. This has this kind of wear and tear on it as well. There is detailing on it. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but like this is supposed to be done like a metal plate, and there's supposed to be bolts, kind of the resemblance of bolts on it. Again, on the side, there's like supposed to be kind of metal plating and cross hatching and stuff like that on it. And then you have the Red Shadows faction logo as opposed to the Cobra faction logo, where on the G.I. Joe ones it's a green box with kind of dark camo behind, and the G.I. Joe logo. Then up the top you can see, hopefully you can see it, and there's not bouncing a reflection off is Ultimates, and then just the G.I. Joe Legalese stuff on the bottom. And it is a slip box. So when you open it up, you're treated to this black window box inside. You have the G.I. Joe logo on this one, and you have the Ultimates logo, which is a bit more visible. And then you have a brief write-up of Red Laser, which I shall read out. So it's Red Laser Gunner, file name unknown, primary military specialty laser dynamics, secondary military specialty artillery, birthplace unknown. Red Laser is a former member of the Japanese terrorist organization and has a high level of technical experience. Formerly a student of laser technology at Tokyo University, he was corrupted by dreams of power shown to him by Baron Ironblood. He developed Laser Exterminator into the most deadly weapon in the enemy armory. Red Laser, and it's a quote, "Red Laser is totally corrupt, brainwashed by Baron Ironblood to accept the slightest command from him." And then what's interesting to note is that they used images of Cobra Commander and then just re-edited him to look like Red Laser, which is exactly how the original figure was. You can even see down in the corner they used different variations of the Cobra Commander iconography, I suppose, but this one looks like it's lifted from the cartoon series and then just redecoed to look like the Red Laser character, which is pretty cool, because if you know the history of the figure, you'll know that the original Red Laser figure was just a straight up repaint of the original Action Force, the original G.I. Joe Cobra Commander figure. It was imported into the UK by Palitoy, and then they repainted it, repurposed it, and instead of him being the leader of the enemy faction, he became like a pack-in figure for one of the vehicles, which is called the Laser Exterminator. And again, that was a repaint of an existing G.I. Joe vehicle, which was, is it the HAL, if I remember correctly? I think it's the big laser cannon. They repainted it red, slapped Cobra Commander in a red new deco on it, and called it a whole new thing. So that is it for the box. Bear with me while I get everything set up to have a look at the figure. Obviously the figure is not here in front, and we'll have a look-see at him in a moment. And here is the figure himself in all his accoutrements, as they say. Now, defaulted in the packaging, he comes with 2 closed fists. Obviously he doesn't have those on at the moment because I have swapped them out for his other accessories. most notably being his trademark laser gun, which is actually the Cobra Commander one. So it is a different one. I'm going to bring my tape measure here. I was just reaching over to grab it so we can do a height test for him. So these are generally done in the 7-inch scale, so they're 1/10 scale. So if I just make him a more neutral pose, we'll bring that tape measure in, and you can see he does indeed stand around the 7-inch mark. What is interesting to note, and we'll have a look at his compared to his original counterpart in a minute, but we'll go through his accessories first. So accessory wise, he comes with this cool laser rifle. Again, I think all, or if not most of his accessories are reissues. So he comes with this large laser rifle, which I believe originally came with the Cobra Commander figure. Comes with a pair of binoculars. Now these ones I know came with the Duke figure, so they're the same design that came with Duke. He comes with a laser pistol, which originally I believe came with Destro. He comes with a version of that. He comes with the hairdryer laser pistol, or the Cobra Commander style laser pistol. And then for his final accessory, which isn't the extra hands, he comes with this tiny, not sure if you can see it. Let's see if we can get it, focus on it. And just see if we can adjust my light to get a bit more light on it. There we go. He comes with this tiny walkie-talkie, which is pretty cool. It's just done in all black, but it has a paint deco. Is it a paint deco or a sticker? It's a paint deco, I believe. And again, it comes with the Red Shadow logo printed onto it, which is quite nice. And then, as I said, it comes with a bunch of extra hands. So out of the box default comes with the default punching left and right. He comes with a right trigger hand. He has his left trigger hand in. He comes with an outstretched hand. Now I don't believe this is for any specific accessory. Sometimes they have accessory specific hands. Sorry if I wobble the camera. He does come with a accessory specific hand for the walkie-talkie, which is this one. This can also be used for a double hand, or holding the barrel of the large laser rifle, but this hand is more designed to hold the walkie-talkie in a kind of a walkie-talkie pose. And then he comes with the kind of Conquest, and you can probably put this into it, but I think you can use this for the binoculars as well. So he comes with this kind of gripping hand. It's kind of like a trigger finger hand because it has the outstretched trigger finger. In fact, sorry, my mistake. It is the hand specific for this rifle, because the hand has a wider barrel, or not barrel, wider grip. So if I just put this on, it is actually designed for this rifle, because it doesn't actually have a normal stock like or normal handle like one of the pistols. So he does have the pistol hand, and then he has the specific stock hand, and then his final hand, which is the one that he has on him, is his pointing finger hand. So you can point and wave his finger at you like you're doing something you shouldn't be. So that said, for his accessories, he does have storage for one accessory, which is namely this. And I suppose this is the best segue to bring in this guy. Here is his original Super7 Ultimates counterpart, which is the Cobra Commander figure. And we'll have a quick look, see how similar and how different these guys are. So straight out the bat, you might be thinking, oh, these are just straight up repaints. They are and they aren't. There is some slight retooling done, and there is slightly different parts. Most notably the arms here, where Cobra Commander has this long glove sleeve that goes up to his elbow practically. The Red Shadow does not. Red Shadow does have boots on. Now you might think that these are new sculpt, but this is just this blue section painted black to give the appearance of boots. So he is similar in that vein, but if we flip him around the back, you will see that the red shadow, or sorry, red laser here has a unique back sculpt. His back sculpt is based off that of the original figure, and just like the original figure, now it's not the best fit, but you can take that, let me just get it to pop in. It's going to be a bit of a pain, isn't it? There is indents for it, and the slightest little nod tends to knock it out of place. I don't think it clicks into place. I haven't felt it click at any point, but it can rest in there. It does have the storage for that hairdryer laser gun, so there is that difference as well. And then the other major difference, and it's very subtle, you might notice it at first glance, is the heads. The head on Cobra Commander, now this is his, one of the default heads. He has the other one that has the white stripe that has the more cartoon look to it. The head on Red Laser actually has an indent where the eyes are. Now, unlike some of the other exclusives, Red Laser only has the one head. Some of the other exclusives and some of the other figures have had multiple head sculpts. So I'm going to see if we can bring this in close enough to the camera. So you can see there's actually an indent on the head where the mask visor part is. Normally on the original figure it was just a black line painted with the white eyes on it. They actually went a little bit above and beyond and actually painted the, or not painted, but sculpted a eyepiece, which is quite nice. It is quite a nice nod, or quite different compared to the original. Now, I do have an original figure. Unfortunately, I cannot find where he has been put. So it is really annoying me, because I wanted to do not a size comparison, but a comparison time of his original figure with this one. And you can see the similarities on him. But unfortunately, I do not have that. So we'll just run into the articulation. So as with nearly all Super 7 Ultimates, head is on a ball joint. So you can turn, rotate all the way around. There is some kind of forward, back. Can look down that much. Can look back that much. So you're not going to get full down on it and great back. The helmet kind of hinders it a small bit. You have the arms that can go out that much, so you can get a good T-pose. There is a bicep swivel. There is a elbow swivel with a, or elbow joint with a swivel on it. And then depending on which hand you have in, there is a rotation on the wrist, and then you'll either have bilateral or, you know, up movement or in and out movement for the hand. He does have an ab crunch, which is not the best. I mean, it could have been done without it, but with the addition of the waist one, it just gives him a little bit more pop. Not so much in the back because of this whole big chunk of power pack for his charger for the blaster gun. You can do the splits that much. Now, I do find his waist is a little bit hindered by just this pocket area, and it was the same on Cobra Commander. He has these kind of double pockets, so it does tend to hinder his waist a small bit. He can kick forward and sit into a good sitting position. You can bend his knee. Is there a swivel on the knee? No, there's no swivel on that. Then there is a ankle swivel. There is peg holes on the bottom of his shoes, and he has the kind of rocker ankle thing going on as well, so he does have that. So all in all, he's quite an articulated piece of kit. He does look pretty menacing with his laser pistol for these red laser. I believe, now I could be wrong because I never had the original one boxed. I got him secondhand. I don't believe the original one came with the laser pistol. I think his only accessory is the fact that he came with a giant cannon. So I think they opted just to leave the accessory count out of him and just had him, even though he's a straight repaint of Cobra Commander, he had the backpack piece, but he didn't have the gun that went into it, I believe. I could be wrong. Someone might be able to correct me in the comments below if I'm off on that. But what we will do for another comparison, because I have them, I will bring in his other exclusive figure and his other fellow Red Shadow member. I just get him into a more neutral position so you can stand a little bit better next to him. Here is the Red Shadows version of Red Jackal. So that is Red Jackal and Red Laser. They are both Red Shadows. And if you really wanted to, even though she's not technically a Red Shadow, but she does fit the motif and the the kind of look, you could use Red Knock here as an additional Red Shadow. They never did repaint the Baroness figure to be a Red Shadow, which is interesting because they did repaint Scarlet from the Joe team to be Quarrel, and she came with a motorbike. So hopefully we might see some of the Action Force members get repainted, because out of all the Action Force characters that were released under the Action Force line, Quarrel was one, which was a repainted Scarlet. Snake Eyes was repainted as a SAS. Was he the SAS driver? He was one of the drivers for the tank for the Wolverine tank, which was ironic because Cover Girl wasn't a thing at the time. And so there was a few. So we'll just bring in. Where can I fit him? Bring in the standard Destro in the background here. Just get him to stand a little bit more neater, so you can see how these guys kind of compare. I have done a review for this guy, so if you want to check it out, it should be on my channel somewhere. I might throw it into the description, and we'll just bring in Cobra Commander. So we have their two kind of origin figures behind them, and you have the newer figures in front. I really love the look of Red Laser. I've always been a big fan of the Red Shadows, even though they haven't had a huge amount of, well, I wouldn't say notoriety, but they didn't have a huge amount of figures for their line, but they had some really cool designs. So again, as I said, they reused some of the G.I. Joe vehicles to turn them into vehicles for the Red Shadows. The Laser Exterminator is a reused G.I. Joe vehicle. Then they had some unique stuff. So I'm trying to think of the name of it. I know the Robo Skull is one of their more unique ones, which is basically a giant flying TIE fighter that looks like a giant flying skull, which is one of our most iconic vehicles. And then they had most of the vehicles started red, obviously, because of the Red Shadows. I'm trying to think of the vehicle, the tracked vehicle they had. They had a thing that would tow the Laser Exterminator. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a reuse of the Action Force, an Action Force designed vehicle, which is pretty cool. And was there another Action Force vehicle that I can think of, or another Red Shadows vehicle? Off the top of my head, I can't remember the full extent of the Red Shadows. I think they only had maybe 3 things, actually. They didn't have a lot. But they had, like, their troopers were repurposed, 5-point of articulation German soldiers that they re-sculpted and gave this kind of style head to, but it was a different type of head. So it didn't look like the Cobra Commander helmet, but it was a kind of similar vein, where it had the skull and crossbow motif on the top, and it had like the black slit with the whited out eyes, which made them very intimidating. So it was kind of cool. I'm just going to readjust my camera ever so slightly, so you can just see the box in behind. But all in all, Red Laser is a pretty cool figure. Now, I have seen rumors, and I don't know how true it is, that he is very limited on release. I believe he was only sold through either Target or Walmart, one of those, and Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know if Entertainment Earth had them, and he's pretty much sold out everywhere. In fact, he was sold out, and people were complaining. I saw people saying that some of the major retailers, or the major retailer that had him as an exclusive, was cancelling pre-orders that people had put. So I don't know how true that is. So you might have to push for a secondary market price on him, and unfortunately, I would imagine because of his scarcity and his rarity, he will be quite expensive to pick up on the secondary market. And not that the Super 7 figures weren't too expensive. I mean, he's not much more expensive. In fact, I think he was around the same price as a regular Super 7 figure. So he wasn't, even though he's an exclusive, he wasn't overpriced. But on the secondary market, he probably will be priced out a bit, unfortunately. So there is that. So I hope you enjoyed this video review. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching to the bitter end and watch me waffle through this entire thing. So cheers guys, thanks for watching and have a great one.